what is our take on this, really? When it's so one-sided as it was, I just wonder what Shebahn thinks of it. talkSPORT broadcaster and WSL expert Shebahn Aherne joins us this morning. Shebahn, good morning.
Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Simon. How you doing?
Very well, Shebahn. Nice to hear your lovely, refreshing voice.
Thank you, and yours, as always.
Now, Shebahn, tell me this and tell me no more to start with. What's your take on that performance and that result?
Absolutely sensational, and I just didn't see it happening like this at all. I mean, I felt this was going to be a test for England. I had a feeling they were going to concede a couple of early goals and then make their way back into it and possibly take a point from the game, but they absolutely whipped them. And let's be clear, Norway are a very, very good side with three of the strongest forwards in the world in their side, and England just, as Simon would say, handed them their backside.
Is it an abject failure for England if they don't go on and win this thing now, Shebahn?
I think actually after that performance, yes, and I wasn't saying that I hadn't been saying that at all, but after a performance like that, so clinical, such a good team effort, they had it on point, so now we expect so much from them. Again, the pressure's on, but have you seen France? Have you seen Sweden? They're definitely going to meet a couple of, fair new challenges, but now I believe that they've got it in the bag.
I think you have to correct the terminology, Jim. I don't think if they were not to win this tournament, I don't think it would be an abject failure, because there are other sides in this tournament, as Shebahn alludes to, that are decent sides. It wasn't so long ago that the Dutch put 7 past the Norwegians. So there is a situation where good teams can put supposed other good sides to the sword.
There's a but coming here.
There's no but. I'm just saying it's unfair to frame it for Shebahn to say abject failure.
Okay.
A disappointment, an opportunity missed, like the men's last year, an opportunity missed.
If they don't win it.
But if they get to a final and they play very credible opposition like the Swedes or whoever else it is that are the sides that are slightly ranked higher than England, then it won't be an abject failure. It'll just be a disappointment, won't it, Shebahn?
That's exactly it. Yeah, they would be unlucky if that happened, and they've already set the benchmark. They're looking that it's been the strongest performance so far. Out of 10, it was a full 10. Beth Mead's absolutely on flames. I mean, that performance up the right wing in the first half was exemplary.
Yeah. The thing is this, Shebahn, what would you say to those critics, and they're out there, who would say, well, where's the jeopardy in this?
Well, I also look back to other tournaments where, we've been looking at England men in the Euros last summer. It's coming home after the first game. It happens. They look good. They're a very good side. There is jeopardy. Look at France. 5 goals past their first game as well in the first half. So, and again, like they're very strong sides. They're going to be tested. That's not it. It's definitely.
I think the point he's making, Shebahn, is how do you odds? You can't imagine, and I don't want to compare and contrast, but just for making the point that Jim is doing, the jeopardy question is based upon how can you odds a game where a team that's ranked 11 in the world is getting beat 6-0 at half time by a team that's ranked 7, because that would give people cause and pause to think that this is not competitive.
It is competitive. It is competitive. That was freak show kind of stuff. That wasn't expected. Eddie Hegerberg, your striker for Norway last night, is a Ballon d'Or winner. We know what she's capable of.
They got done 7 by the Dutch, though, didn't they?
Absolutely, but the Dutch are also, the winners of this competition most recently. So we are looking at stiff competition. Nobody could see that coming, but England were outstanding. So I think now to look and say there's no jeopardy is just actually not the case.
And Shebahn, you would be quite right to come back at me or at Simon and say, well, look, the Men's World Cup, we all remember Germany 7, Brazil 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So these results, they do happen.
Don't you look at me. You're the one that brought up the jeopardy question, not me.
I think it's a relevant point.
I just qualified it for Shebahn.
I do think it's a relevant point because it is such a landslide. It's fair to say that in the second half, England eased off, didn't they? You have to admit that, Shebahn. So it wasn't really the contest we thought it might be. They took their foot off the pedal in the second half, so it was a bit more respectable, if you can call 8-0 respectable, for the Norwegians.
Yeah, and we were actually, well, I know I was looking for Norway to really step up and provide and be the side that we know they can be with the players that they've got. It just didn't happen. They got absolutely whooped. And it's going to happen in these tournaments, but Norway against Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland aren't the blueprint in this competition. That's no disrespect. Norway were absolutely outstanding. Norway are still going to come out the group. I think they'll beat Austria for sure. They're going to beat Austria. They will come out the group. and then you're going to see a different side to Norway.
Is it the kind of tournament you expected it to be at this stage, Shebahn? Is it everything you thought it would be?
It's everything and more. It really is. I'm loving it. I mean, you know what I'm like. I'm obsessed with it anyway. But I was down last night at Southampton for Northern Ireland against Austria. It was a good game. You know, we're seeing teams like Northern Ireland coming at this competition. They've only gone full-time in January into a full-time camp. You've got, 5 mothers playing in the Iceland team that are getting to bring their kids onto the pitch at the end of it. You've got 28,000 fans at the Ames last night. You've practically sold out Bramall Lane. The Dutch army are storming down the streets doing the bouncy. It's wonderful. I've been everywhere. We've been all over the M1, and we're just seeing fans and attention and the respect that the women's game deserves. So yeah, it's been absolutely outstanding. I wanted to see more from last night's game. I wanted Norway to absolutely, go for it and to see a real competition. But we're group stages, so what happens, further down the line, quarterfinals, the semis, it's going to be outstanding because there's such standard and quality coming into this tournament.
What do you think, Shebahn, is they're naming the trophy then? England going to do it?
Oh, I'd love an England-Netherlands final just because we can watch the scenes at Wembley. I think that would be outstanding. But also, I think France are looking so powerful. If England match France at some point, which should happen, that should be a right contest. But if England do what they did to Norway last night to France, then, well, you've got the best team in the world.
Of course. And Shebahn, I know you're right behind the England women in their quest to win this trophy, even though you and I hail from north of Hadrian's Wall. Having said that, would it put a wry smile on your face if England women beat England men to be the first to win a major trophy?
Yeah, of course, because I'm a Lionesses fan, I'm a WSL fan, I'm a women's football fan. When Scotland match England and they're in a tournament, I'm a Scotland fan. I'm supporting the women on this journey as I have been all of my life. So that's the important thing.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.